What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be discussing the Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bulls Weekly as we discussed the previous week for the Bulls, what went right and what went wrong, as well as the awards given, while also discussing the upcoming week. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls, the previous week we've just faced, and the upcoming week ahead. Now, the Bulls had 3 games in this previous week and we ended up going 1-2, so not necessarily an amazing week for the Chicago Bulls. In fact, it was a negative week for the Chicago Bulls. To be fair, 2 of those games were back-to-back situations, but still no excuses as the Chicago Bulls just disappointed. Even in the game against Charlotte, you could arguably say it was a disappointing game from the scoring standpoint, but nonetheless we end up going 1-2. So what went wrong for the Chicago Bulls this week? Well, I feel like injuries have played a factor. I feel like our three-point shooting was a huge factor. And I also feel like our transition defense was a huge factor as well. Not to mention the fact we didn't have a backup center for most of the week. But regardless of that fact, again, a loss is a loss. We've got to take those things on the chin, knowing that we played some good teams this week and we just didn't get the job done. The first game was against the Philadelphia 76ers, and we ended up losing this game 110-97. Now, again, this was a disaster loss. In fact, we were down by well over 30 points in this game, I believe. It was a very disappointing game from the Chicago Bulls in every sense of the word. And this was also the game where we found Bulls players laughing on the bench after getting destroyed by 30 points for most of that game. That is something I didn't like. That was something that made me lose my temper. And at the end of the day, I was extremely frustrated with that Bulls performance. Then we move over to the back-to-back game as we face the New York Knicks away from home. We did lose this game 116-100. A better performance, I would say, overall from the Bulls. We stayed close and competitive for most of that game. But in the third or fourth quarters, the New York Knicks ran away with it with their transition offense, ran away with it with their size differential, and ran away with it in terms of hustle stats and offensive rebounds and stuff of that nature. And that was the things that really haunted the Bulls throughout the week. But then we versed the Charlotte Hornets, an injury-filled Charlotte Hornets team. We had the returning Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic in this game, and we ended up winning this game 104-91. Not the best game we've ever seen, but definitely not the worst game we've ever seen. We dealt with an injury-riddled Charlotte team that was struggling throughout the whole night, but simply put, we just got the job done. We did what we needed to do, beat a team we should be beating at home, and walking away with that victory. And again, 1-2 this week. Not terrible, but not great either. So in regards to the awards given, usually we give awards for the must improve, which is not really an award, a sixth man of the week, a defensive player of the week, and a player of the week candidate. So let's get started. The must improve for me is Jevon Carter. He had a great game against the Charlotte Hornets, 7 points, 2 from 5 from the field, I believe. Not too shabby. But throughout the week, very disappointing. And I think it's very easily the must improve, unfortunately. Then we move over into the sixth man of the week. And I'm going to surprise a lot of people here. I'm going to pick Dalen Terry. Now, I know Dalen Terry started a game this week, so people might cancel him out straight from then. But either he gets the sixth man of the week from me or the underrated player of the week, which I often give just random times. And I think for Dalen Terry, sixth man of the week is the right deal to give to him, in all honesty. I think he provided a lot of energy off our bench. He performed on our bench while other guys didn't. And I also thought he's fairly consistent throughout the week. I understand he's not a scorer, so you might look at the stat sheet and say, oh man, this guy only had 3 points today. How is he the sixth man of the week? And yes, points do really matter in terms of the NBA. Don't let anybody fool you and say points don't matter. But at the end of the day, there are some players that can go beyond just the points tally to make an impact. And Dalen Terry, I would consider that guy because he's not a prolific scorer, but he can get the job done defensively. He does provide a lot of energy, and he's improved his playmaking a fair bit this week as well. So congratulations to him on, I believe, winning the first award of his entire tenure, I guess, in terms of this channel. I guess congratulations to him. I believe that's right, but I could be wrong. Let's move over into the next thing. That is the defensive player of the week. Now, this one's a little bit of a challenge because there were a couple of very bad performances this week for the Chicago Bulls defensively, but I think I'm going to stick with the guy that got it last week, and that is Andre Drummond. I thought Andre Drummond was spectacular this week again. I hate how people say defensive rebounding isn't part of defense. I don't like when people say that. And I think Andre Drummond, again, with his ability to play some good defense, grab defensive rebounds, but also getting some block shots in this game as well, kind of proves how valuable he has been to the defensive end for the Chicago Bulls. He was able to stop a couple of alley-oop tries for the Bulls as well. Not too shabby for Andre Drummond this week. He didn't have amazing scoring nights. He only had 7 points today, I believe, or something along those lines. But defensively, solid job. 3 blocks today against the Charlotte Hornets, had a couple of blocks against the Knicks, and I think he did okay against Joel Embiid and the 76ers, even though Joel Embiid got a triple-double. But you're never going to stop Joel Embiid, are you? You can only hope to contain him. He's that type of guy. So I think Drummond did well today and throughout the week. And my player of the week is a close one between Coby White and DeMar DeRozan, but I'm thinking of giving it to DeMar DeRozan this time around. Again, only 16 points in this game, and Coby White had like 22 or something along those lines. But DeMar DeRozan has been super efficient this week. Good playmaking wise, very efficient in terms of scoring. Had a very good game against the Knicks, a very good game against the Sixers. I would say one of our better players against the Sixers. I wouldn't say a great game against the Sixers. Solid game here. I think he's my player of the week, and that's really all we got to say about that. Let me know if you agree or disagree, but in the end, it is what it is. You can agree, you can disagree. You can give it to Coby White. I'm not going to have a problem with that. You can give it to Drummond. I'm not going to have a problem with that. So let's move on. The upcoming week for the Chicago Bulls proves to be a difficult one, but it starts off with the Charlotte Hornets again, and this time it's away from home. Now, I do suspect a couple of players will be returning for both teams in that game, so that can maybe make it more of an entertaining game, because I cannot lie, the first game between the Hornets and the Bulls at home this season was boring. So let's hope that we can pick it up in the next time out. Then we've got a home game against the Houston Rockets. Houston ain't a joke this season. I thought a lot of people were going to come in and say Houston would be the worst team in the NBA. And it looked like that at the beginning. But they've kind of really picked things up, and they've really impressed. And I think if you're going to call a team that is the most surprising team of the season, the Houston Rockets would be it. I mean, just taking a look at where they are in the standings, they are 9th in the Western Conference right now, and they're 17-16. I don't think anybody would have expected them to be above the Warriors, above the Lakers, above the Jazz, and above the Grizzlies. Maybe the Grizzlies because they didn't have Ja Morant. But you know what I mean? That's impressive for the Houston Rockets, and they should be very proud of the accomplishments they've had this season. Then we got another game, speaking of the Western Conference, against the Golden State Warriors, and this one will be at home. Golden State are in trouble. No disrespect to them. They are a team that I truly can't say I don't trust. I trust the Warriors, in all honesty, in terms of getting to the NBA playoffs in some way, form, or fashion, just finding a way to be there. Because they've created that dynasty, and I think that belief in their culture that no matter how bad things are going in their season, they'll find a way to turn it around at some point. So that is something we just got to be fearful of as a Bulls team, knowing that we don't often play well against the Warriors. At least in the last couple of years, we never really do well against the Warriors. So that is something that, you know, we'll have to wait and see about. And then, last but not least, the next game is a back-to-back situation where we're going to be traveling to San Antonio and playing them away from home. This is the first time I've ever experienced an Eastern Conference team facing a Western Conference team 3 times throughout the regular season. We versed the Spurs twice already. We've beaten them twice already. But now we're going to be facing them one last time, and this time it will be in San Antonio. And again, a back-to-back. I hate back-to-backs where you're at home in the Eastern Conference and you have to travel out to the Western Conference and play. That's going to be a game where I feel like the Bulls are going to show their tired legs, are going to show that maybe the energy won't be there, but hopefully they can prove me wrong and pick up a win in that game. Again, it's the NBA. I'm sure every team in some way, form, or fashion has to deal with it. I just don't like the scheduling of this game, but it is what it is. We shall move on. And that's going to be me for this video. I'm going to predict the Bulls in their 4 games to go. I'm going to pick positive, 3-1. Again, I think Zach LaVine and Vucevic coming back can actually be valuable to the team if they play the right way. And let's hope they do play the right way. And with other guys coming back to the team as well, we look to be close to healthy as we can be without, obviously, Torrey Craig and Lonzo Ball. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And thank you so much for watching. Drop a like and a follow and or subscribe if you are new. And I'll see you in the next Chicago Bulls Weekly and the next Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.